I just wanted to give you guys a video of the bike course here on Cal Topo so that you could see exactly what it is that we're doing. You could study this and make sure you have this route, memorized, written down, uploaded to your GPX, however you want to do it. And you can also strategize to see if there's some ways that you think would make it faster for you. So I've color coded these. You can see over here on the left, leg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for all of our bike portions. Ends up coming out, right, depending on how you cut this, around 60-ish K. We're going to go over these segment by segment, and you can see the colors that they run in: green, blue, purple, orange, and red. And we'll just zoom in here. So I'm going to send you guys this link. And if you've never used CalTopo, you should be able to do exactly what I'm doing here. So we're going to come out here to Buckfield. You guys will meet me there in the morning, but not too early now that we've changed the start time. So refer to the notes for that when you'll meet me there for bib check-in. You guys will get your bibs. You give a choice of safety pins. I think I'll have a few of those, or a piece of shock cord that will help keep it onto your body, your bag, or however you want to attach it to yourself. All right, you can see here on CalTopo, we're starting off. This is the Virgil Paris Preserve parcel, this red main section of trail. This is predominantly what you are actually going to run, which is pretty cool. You can kind of see that. We're going to run it in a clockwise fashion. You won't do this outer portion, which is single track. You're going to stay on this double track. This is very well manicured and groomed and actually quite dry. You shouldn't see a lot of mud or anything like that, or wet spots. So you're going to finish that, and your bike will be stashed right here. So I should have actually extended this yellow or green line actually to be here. So you're going to get on your bike here on the bike racks. And what you do need to know about this first section of Sodom Road is that this is gravel. It's the only mandatory portion of gravel at this point on the course. So if you have a bike, like last year we had somebody who had a very, very nice full carbon triathlon bike and just said, man, I'm just not comfy with that on the gravel. We give you the option. You can stash your bike back here, right where this water crossing is. There's a little bridge, and this is where it turns to pavement. So this whole section is pavement. We don't have any bike racks or anything down there, but if you have a sport car, if you're comfortable, leaning your bike up against a tree or something like that, you're more than welcome to stash your bike here and run to your bike. So you're coming off this trail running loop, you run down and then hop on your bike and then bike only the pavement. The gravel is relatively flat, so almost zero grade, or essentially maybe a little downhill. And as of the other day, it was actually really smooth and quite rideable. They maintain this road as it is a highly used road. All right, so this is what you're going to do. Your first section's through there, right? Here, when we join up on 117, this is a hard left-hand turn uphill onto main Route 117, which traffic can be cooking. So what we're going to try to do is have a sheriff here at this junction for you, slowing traffic, making sure that you see him and he sees the road. Hopefully I'll run out of battery here shortly. And if not, we will have another adult volunteer out there doing the same thing, trying to slow traffic, make sure that you're visible to them, and we make very safe transition out onto the main road. And like I said, it is uphill, so we're going to try to make it so you don't have to unclip if at all possible. All right, so you guys are going to ride up and over the famous Streakin' Mountain. This is quite a pretty solid climb. If you want to take a look, you can click on the little profile icon here, and it will show you what you're in for in terms of riding the route, as you come up and over, in terms of how much gain there is, how much loss there is, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty nice as you come into town and you cruise this out. So you have this really nice rewarding downhill, like just cruise out all the way to Roberts, but there is this nice little steady double step grind. All right, so we'll close that up again, and so we'll chase down 117. I'm going to bring you down to the junction where we come down into kind of town. And you come down here, and we're going to join up with 119. So I want you to see this here. It's a little bridge. This is actually a yield sign, so you don't need to stop, but just look uphill for traffic coming off on 119, and then make your transition. Typically, since there's the most obvious line and it's a yield into the flow of traffic, we don't put an arrow or wands or anything like that there. You'll cross the main bridge here. Make sure to look up and down the river as the leaves here turn amazing, usually this time of year, and it's extremely gorgeous. This is what we call Market Square. So you're going to come up to a stop sign and should have zip tied to that stop sign a left-hand turn arrow, laminated arrow, either bright green or bright pink, and it should say race on it. You're going to make a left-hand turn out of the stop sign. Here's one of those areas where you could try to decide, like, hey, is it faster for me to take Barrows and River and Pine and cut some of that off and then have to rejoin with, Briggs Street or Pine Street later on? That's up to you guys. I'm excited to see if anyone tries some other types of routes. But once you make that stop sign left-hand turn, you are on the main Route 26. And this is just a cruiser through the downtown South Paris Main Street. One thing good to know is that as you come through this section, there is a lot of commercial businesses. There is a McDonald's over here on the left, on your left-hand side. I wouldn't recommend that one necessarily. Same with an Irving's gas station back here. They do have public open restrooms. Just good to know that on the bike course if for some reason you need to stop. I would come further down. On the right side of the road is going to be Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts. That way you can, you don't have to cross traffic. You can immediately fly off into the parking lot, jump into those public restrooms if you need one. Those are good just to know about, as we don't have, the land trust doesn't maintain porta potties on most of the properties. So since you're coming through town, nice to know. This will actually be just as quick as a porta john at any of the parcels, and actually cleaner and nicer. So good to know. So you're going to take 26 past the high school, straight through, all the way down into this junction here. There is no stop sign, anything like that. This is right away and main flow of traffic. You just bend to the right, and now you're on Main Street in downtown Norway. Again, there are lots of cutoffs and back streets, Beale Street being one of those ones that you may decide, you try to use and then cut forth or cut back down on, like Danforth or something like that, as possibilities to rejoin with Main Street. If you're on Main Street, take note of our great businesses. You're going to fly by our parcel sponsors, Norway Brewing Company, 290 Main Street, Dolce Amici, and of course Cafe Nomad and Norway Pizza Exchange. So most of our parcel sponsors operate their businesses right here on Main Street. We would love for you, after the race, return back to these and be a patron of theirs. They've graciously given us a lot of gifts and have sponsored the event. You're going to ride out of Main Street on what I think is referred to maybe as Lake Street. I just think of it as the Main Street extension, as you don't turn off of anything. And you're going to ride along gorgeous Penisiwasi Lake, and you're going to cruise right by. So you'll see over here to the right that there is the recommended route up to Shepherd's Farm here. Don't turn here now, right? Follow green straight through, straight by along the lake. We're going to come back to this. Over here on this side, you'll see the back side of a grade stake with an arrow indicating a left-hand turn here later in the race, but we'll come back to that later. So keep flying by on Lake Street until you see a left-hand turn here at Roberts. And we will put right here a grade stake with a laminated arrow again that says race or bike race, and it will show a left-hand turn uphill. So you're going to go uphill on the Roberts Road to this parcel here. And the parking area is technically here, so again, we could, if we wanted to, kind of edit this arrow for you, if you wanted a more exact GPX line. This is where the race at Roberts will be. This is where you'll join the 25K racers. So you're going to have the new trails that we'll be utilizing are actually called the Janet and the Lunch Trail. Again, they'll come all the way down into town. This map is Caltopo doesn't have the newest stuff on it, so we won't talk about the trail running too much. So you're going to come back off of that. So leg 1 is now done. Leg 2 is blue. You're going to exit and go back down your same tracks down Roberts Road. And then you'll be here at this stop sign. You're going to have to make a left-hand turn. So yield to normal traffic. There won't be a police officer or anything like that guiding you. So you're just going to have to go when it is open and available, but you are making a left-hand turn. Likely there will be a laminated arrow as well indicating a left-hand turn, so you know that the race goes straight through here. And again, you're going to follow blue across the water. Don't turn left yet. This takes us later in the race to Twin Bridges. There should be an arrow somewhere around here that points you straight ahead and towards the course. Again, there will be an arrow on this island here in the main drag here, indicating that the race also goes this way. Do not head out on 117 towards Harrison just yet. So once you come off Roberts Road and join back to Lake Road, you're going to come straight across and cross the water onto what is, I believe, 118 or 119. I think it's 118. And you're going to take that all the way up on Waterford Road until you see a right-hand turn. Again, there will be a laminated arrow here, right-hand turn, to get onto the Greenwood Road. We're going to zoom out because Greenwood Road is just a nice, long, straight cruiser. It's got a pretty good little grind in it. So again, if you click on your elevation profile, that's leg 3. Sorry, leg 2 is blue is what we're doing. Yeah, you're coming out of town, and we're just going to get this nice little grind all the way up Richardson Hollow Road. So we'll close that out, show you that. So Greenwood Road comes up to a 4-way. Make a right-hand turn up Richardson Hollow Road. This is a nice little stiff climb to the parking area at Noyce Mountain. So this is the interesting section here where some of you may start to look. Some racers did a great job of, let's see if I can zoom out here again. Can I show you where you're going? You are going here next. So one of the easiest and most least having to think about things that you could come up with, it's very simply is just reverse your tracks and come all the way straight back into past Roberts Road. And then remember this arrow I mentioned as you were coming in on the green leg. You're going to make a left-hand turn, cross the water, and stop at Shepherd's Farm. I'll zoom you in there in just a second. Upton Brothers Road, Round the Pond Road. Man, some might look at that and say, well, that puts me on Crockett Ridge Road pretty quickly. I will warn you, not all of these roads are paved. So if you choose to venture out on some of these, just know that there may be gravel. It may be a lot quicker for you, but it depends on your ability to ride those roads. I did go out there and drive on all of them. They are all clear, albeit some bumpier with some potholes. So just be on the lookout if you choose to use the open course rules on the bike. So again, we're going over the recommendations only, and that's why we mark the bike course minimally. It's because it's kind of like in an adventure race. You do have the ability to make your own routes there, and we're okay with that. So if you remember, you come back down here. This is where we came in from Buckfield, right on green. Here's Roberts Road in blue. You're coming back down through, and again, you're not going to make the turn just yet to Twin Bridges. Come straight back through. Don't go back up to Roberts unless you need to use the porta potty, because there is another porta potty here. The Lake Store also might have a bathroom right here. It's just another way out there. Should be a card here now that you're riding in this direction. And there'll be a left-hand arrow saying, hey, make sure you turn down Crockett Ridge Road. It's not a very far drive. We go through this beautiful section here, and then boom, you end up at Shepherd's Farm Preserve. And you'll run the big loop out here along Witt's Swamp, this whole big lollipop. Again, that's will be a clockwise lollipop, right? So boom, comes all the way back, and hop back on your bike, and now we're finally headed to Twin Bridges on Orange. So it's come straight back down. Now you take a right, come back down by Roberts Road, and this time instead of going straight back to Noyce, bend a left onto 117. Again, you're going to have to cross traffic. This is one of the flattest legs of the whole race. As you can see, very minimal. So this is a cruiser and a nice little break, especially after the 4 miles at Shepherd's, which seems like it usually never ends. And you're going to cruise out to right on 117, this junction here. Right before this main bridge, this area is called Twin Bridges Preserve. For some reason, CalTopo doesn't still have any of the trail network on this. But there is a main entry with a green land trust sign that says very clearly that this is the Twin Bridges Trail Preserve. Pull in there, volunteers will meet you. You'll run through the gate and then do the big butterfly loop and then back out. Last leg from here is back onto 117. Make sure when you turn in left onto this main route that there's no traffic coming, so make a safe return onto 117. And then you've got your choice here. Again, recommended is that you make the first right-hand turn available to you up Temple Hill. There is a further road down here called Deer Hill, so you could come down 117 to Deer Hill, and they both dump you out onto Mill Hill. So you're going to have to decide which one of those that you'd like to do. We recommend Temple Hill. It comes right up over, officially Temple Hill. Drops you onto Mill Hill. There will be a placard and an arrow. Oh, I'm sorry, there will be an arrow here at Temple Hill to remind you to turn right. An arrow here usually to remind you to turn left onto Mill Hill. And then finally a left-hand arrow here to remind you to turn and make the climb up Hawk Mountain Road. Let's zoom in, not out. And that brings you to Hawk Mountain Preserve. And again, there's a small parking area here. You'll pull in. There are canopy will be there, and volunteers will welcome you. Leave your bike on the bike racks, and you will run up the Cyrus Trail. And we're going to run up to the summit. And that, my friends, is the bike course. So that's the recommended bike course. We're super excited for that and hope that you are too. And you can always hit me up with questions leading into the race.